All right, Jules, let's get on to our first Thanksgiving guy who has plenty of Thanksgiving ties through the NFL.
Let's get on to Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith, running back, Dallas Cowboys from Pensacola, Florida. Let's see what the synopsis of Emmitt Smith says from
What is that
the
synopsis?
great AI, ladies and gentlemen.
AI. We need 10 minutes.
Emmitt Smith, standing at 5'9" and weighing 221 pounds. That's a big boy for 5'9".
Jeez.
Oh, Molly, what are you? You're 5'10", what?
198 was my playing weight.
Man.
I was big, though. I was thick.
He was even thicker.
He was 2C thick.
He played running back in the NFL primarily for the Dallas Cowboys and later for the Arizona Cardinals. Drafted 17th overall by the Cowboys in 1990 from the University of Florida. Smith quickly established himself as a durable, high-caliber player known for his resilience and agility on the field. He retired as the NFL's all-time leading rusher with 18,355 rushing yards, 164 touchdowns, and earning 3 Super Bowl rings, all with the Dallas Cowboys, an MVP award, and an induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Was he first ballot?
First ballot for sure.
Was he? Was he first ballot for sure?
He was first
100%. 100% he should have been. And here's a quick fun fact. Emmitt's pregame ritual included eating 2 packs of peanuts, M&Ms, making him one of the most efficient candy-fueled athletes ever, man. Now, that's might be the most impressive thing about his career. And I wonder if he ate those peanut M&Ms on Thanksgiving Day after Thanksgiving dinner, or if he indulged into some like pumpkin pie instead, or some apple pie with some ice cream and whipped cream with a cherry on top. Or did he love those peanut M&Ms that much that he wouldn't sacrifice even on Thanksgiving? What do you think?
I think it became a superstition thing early on. I mean, running backs in their candy. You got Marshawn with Skittles. You got Emmitt Smith with peanut M&Ms. I mean, it is what it is. These guys are sometimes most of the time the running back's a specimen that just needs fuel, and they could eat anything they want because they running and getting blown up all day, and they're touching the ball a lot. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Emmitt Smith?
One of the greatest running backs of all time.
Yeah.
Exemplified what being a star really meant, especially being on the Dallas Cowboys. Like, he was that star symbol.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what Jerry
when
Jones
he was
said.
playing with Dallas. Yes, that is true. Jerry Jones did say that, but he really did exemplify it that much. He exemplified what being a running back truly meant. They truly ran the ball and ran it with, conviction, with resilience. And also, he's like one of the first guys to truly start that era of everyone wanting to be a running back growing up. Here's the thing. No one really wants to be a running back anymore. It's 2020s, and it's all about being a wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. Back in the day when it was Emmitt Smith, everyone wanted to be a running back. Everyone.
100%.
Even myself, and I knew I wasn't a running back.
I mean, Emmitt Smith is huge. When I think of Emmitt Smith, I think of the Cowboys, and I didn't like him. I didn't like him because he was so damn good. I was a 49ers
fan, okay.
And this was prime in like when I was watching football in the 90s, and they were just so good. Him, the triplets, him, Aikman, and Michael Irvin. And it just seemed like he would lull you to sleep behind that offensive line. He'd get lost behind the line, and I just hated him because he'd always beat us in Candlestick. It didn't matter. Cowboys were always beating us except for 95. Peanut M&Ms. Did you have any superstitions before games, or what was your pregame food?
I had a pregame ritual.
I remember you just eating hella pasta.
I did eat hella pasta, but there was also the peanut butter and jelly made with my mom's jelly. That was always a routine. I had to do it every single Sunday to get me prepared and get me, mentally right, that I was on the right track, and kept the tradition going of always having a PB&J with my mom's homemade jelly. And then on top of it, a chocolate milk, man. I love chocolate milk to this day. And I just felt like, getting that protein in my system and the carbs, what better way to make the tradition sustainable with my mom's homemade jelly? I'm telling you, the best jelly in the game.
Did you hear that going around Uncrustables in the NFL? There's like 7,000. I heard PMT and the boys talking about it. It's crazy because peanut butter and jelly has always been like the athlete snack. Like, you need a little quick calorie burn down. You need some calories, a cup of protein, some sugar, some bread, a little fuel right before you get a PB&J. Throw a little honey on there for a little NOS, a little extra sugar. That's what I would do as a kid. What jumps out when you watch Emmitt Smith's tape?
I mean, he was a solid receiving back as well as being a great runner. I mean, he has a strong upper body. You've seen defensive linemen bounce off of him.
Yeah.
Like he can go into a hole and it looks like he's surrounded by 5 players and all of a sudden he just has that killer stutter step with the back step propeller. And then he's out of that freaking like pile of dudes and he's running it to the outside now. And then he's kind of like a rabbit out there. Like all these dogs are chasing this rabbit and none of these dogs can get the rabbit. And the rabbit's just playing games like silly rabbit. And he's just, eating the carrot while he's running around everybody. But that's what made him so special too, man.
Yeah.
Like no one can get to him. And that upper body strength along with his ability and his footwork and just his versatility is what truly made him that special and so hard to take down.
What do you say? Oh, who'd you hate going against? What kind of defensive ends?
Well, shorter, stockier.
What is Emmitt Smith?
He's a bowling ball.
He's just got built-in pad level, man.
Mm-hmm. That is what it is.
You'd watch him get behind the offensive line. It seemed like their offensive line was fucking gigantic. And like he would sit there and be patient, and then he'd have the quickness to jump cut and then hit the fucking hole, make someone miss in the second level. He always had long runs. And that's what like I always think of Emmitt Smith. Just little patient runner, play behind his pads, low, see the hole, hit it, and go. And like, man, did he did it better than a lot of people. He was the best running back when he retired. He had all the numbers. I remember that. What did you think of when he went to Arizona?
You know, I don't really remember too much when he went to Arizona because he exemplified being a cowboy, so much. He has insane records, that's for sure. He has the most career rushing yards with over 18,000 yards rushing. He has the most career rushing touchdowns at 164.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Is that beat now? He did at that time. Is that beat? 164 career rushing touchdowns? There's players that have more than 164 career touchdowns, but not rushing touchdowns. And he has the most career rushing attempts as well with over 4,400 too, man.
That's what's almost even more impressive. Because what's the number right now that everyone talks about? Running back has about 400 carries and then they get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's 400 carries.
36 fumbles
on touching the ball 4,400 times. That's insane. He didn't have like the wow speed. He didn't have the wow like stiff arm. But he was always productive.
He had the wow lateral cuts.
But when you think of lateral cuts in this generation, who do you think of? One of the guys that we'll be talking about a little later. Whoa, you're not supposed to tell. We'll bleep that. We'll bleep that.
Well, bleep it.
How about the Emmitt Smith game?
Oh, man, when he, popped out his shoulder and he just kept going. Well, he went in the locker room for a minute or so, went to the sidelines. Wherever he went, he just came back out and played rest of the game and had 15 plus carries.
Against the Giants, do you ever remember playing someone banged up and having to ball out like that?
Like I was banged up?
Yeah, you were banged up.
I mean, I never had it to the level of Emmitt Smith where he could barely even move his shoulder. And every time he fell, he was practically screaming on the ground, but he just kept going and telling himself that he's not in pain. That's a football player right there, man.
You think he got shot up?
I don't think so.
I think he definitely got lidocaine right up in that shoulder. He put that needle direct inject right in there.
I don't know, but if you watch the game, you could tell, man, he's in pain throughout the whole game. Yeah, you're still going to
feel a little something. I've done it. I remember I've shot up that shoulder 1,000 times.
But you can still feel it, but it just takes the edge off.
No, it's kind of numb, but then you'll feel crackly and stuff. You're like, what the fuck?
I mean, I can recall, the AFC Championship game. It was not like an Emmitt Smith story, but I went up to see him. It was versus the Baltimore Ravens. It was my second year in the league. I was having that wonderful year, and I caught the ball on Bernard Pollard. It was kind of a hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
And I swear, 90% of the time on hip drop tackles, the player does get injured that's getting tackled.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not properly made to fall down that way with someone falling on top of you. If you're falling backwards and someone's on top of you, no problem. Yeah. But your body's not made for someone to fall on top of you when you're landing on your stomach or on your chest. And that's what happened. Got tackled. He landed on my ankle. It twisted. And I had a super high ankle sprain. Went in the locker room, got it taped up. And literally I had the same mindset. Hey, I'm not in pain. This is the AFC Championship game. I may never be back. If we win this game, we're going to the freaking Super Bowl. That's what, you're just dreamed of as a kid. So I had to go back, and I'm telling you, this shit hurt.
Yeah,
it hurt.
It's hard.
I took it wasn't lidocaine. It was the Toradol shot, right there on the spot. I don't think it really did much because, a high ankle sprain, you're in a lot of pain. I mean, I went out there, I was limping a little bit. No more catches, but some serious blocks to get us to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
What was the craziest injury you ever played through in a game?
That crazy snowstorm game.
Versus Tennessee?
Versus Tennessee.
When you guys won 59-0?
Yeah.
I was still at the University of Arizona.
I was in the fourth quarter, I got to play a bunch, being a slapdick back then. Caught a ball, and Van de Bosch fell on me, and I broke my arm. I snapped my forearm, and I look over to Ivan Fears at the sideline. I go, Coach, I think I'm hurt. He goes, stay in. We ain't got no one. Everyone's out.
That's a football coach for you.
I'm like, all right. And then freaking Hoyer threw me the ball. Like the next drive, I caught a ball with a broken arm. It was fucking crazy. And I come off and I'm like, Chatty, I think I broke my arm, dude. Like, he's like, oh, well, I think everyone's kind of out right now. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. Let's do it. And so play with the broken arm.
That sucks, bro. Yeah. I mean, it's badass. And then it's badass to play through an injury, but it does suck, man. It hurts. It hurts like a mother effer.
It's part of the game. Does. The greatest players like Emmitt Smith for this situation, when they're banged up, they find a way to be productive and they adjust their game to the deficiencies with their injury and they still go out and ball. That's what makes a great player. Emmitt Smith was a fucking guy that did that with the shoulder game.
What about him? Most all-time rushing yards on Thanksgiving Day as well, with over 1,100 yards.
I mean, Turkey Day, he owned
most rushing TDs on Thanksgiving, 13.
Jesus.
His best Thanksgiving was about 29 carries, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 1996. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys, and he helped secure back-to-back Super Bowls. And they were both blowout wins versus my hometown, the Buffalo Bills. Ooh. People still talk about those losses, how the Bills went to the Super Bowl, I think 4 years in a row. Was it 3 or 4 years in a row? I was only 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. But it still hurts the city of Buffalo that Emmitt Smith put that big of a pounding on them. And a huge shout out to Jimmy Johnson, Michael Irvin on the team. I mean, what a solid team they had, man. And Troy Aikman, was he the quarterback?
Troy Aikman.
Oh, man.
Triplets.
That's the team right there. The triplets.
Now, what do you think of the Lions and the Cowboys always playing on Thanksgiving?
I mean, I love how those teams are the tradition. I mean, obviously the Cowboys, they're America's team. They draw the most, represents the Thanksgiving. You need the Dallas Cowboys on TV. The Detroit Lions, they became so bad at one point that it was
like their Super Bowl.
Yeah. It was their Super Bowl
because that was like their only primetime game for a long time.
At one time, they were like 0-15, 0-16 in the league. They were winning 2-3 games at a time. It really wasn't important that Detroit was playing on Thanksgiving. It might have been important for the city, but it was important to all of America that the Dallas Cowboys were playing on Thanksgiving. But now it's just as important when the Detroit Lions are playing. Yeah. Everyone loves Detroit right now. They're kind of becoming like America's up-and-coming team.
America's up-and-coming team?
Of the middle, upper...
Midwest, they call it the Midwest. They call it the Midwest.
You know,
Upper America, Midwest. Yeah, I've always
bordering to Canada.
I've actually always
been Canada's team, actually.
Well, technically, Detroit is the only city where Canada is south of it.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith he was also known for his game day fits.
Yes. He had pullovers, right?
Yeah, no, that's what he's endorsed by now. Pullover diapers.
Depends, right?
Yeah,
because he's always dependable in Dallas.
He's always dependable
so
in
now
Dallas.
He's representing Depends adult diapers because you can depend on Emmitt Smith to take a dump on the other opposing team.
Defense.
Yes, on the defense.
It's pretty crazy. He did that whole polka dot overall outfit back in the day when guys would always wear suit and tie. Like, to think about it now, like that's how everyone dresses now. Everyone dresses like it's a fucking runway before the game to get your shot, to show that you're cool, your style, you're this, you're that. And Emmitt Smith was like a pioneer in that. Look at that fucking outfit. That's kind of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Would you wear that, Rob?
If it was Halloween.
What was your game day?
Yeah.
What was your game day outfit?
My game day outfit, man, you know me. I was a short and t-shirt guy every single week. That was all. Free t-shirt, free shorts, free sandals. I was showing up every game like that.
Guy wore Jordan sandals 9 years that I've known him. The same pair in the locker room. Mm-hmm. That's what he'd roll up in, just like this. He'd look exactly how he's dressed right now, just like this, because this is all free stuff. and he'd roll
Thank
up in
you,
a
Emmitt,
game
for
day.
the free shirt.
He'd roll up in the game day. You see him in the cafeteria. He'd grab some food. He'd grab a couple PB and J's,
And I'm good.
and then he's good.
Just thankful for just the basics, Jules.
I don't think I think I've come across Emmitt at a banquet or a function or a charity event or some event. Emmitt Smith just looks like happy and cool and rich anytime I see him. He's got a great smile. He hasn't aged. He looks exactly the same as he did in high school. I don't think he's got the hair anymore, but salt and pepper beard. I mean, my guy could cut a rug too. Emmitt Smith actually won Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dola win Dancing with Stars like Emmitt Smith?
Oh.
Right now, this is after Dancing with the Stars. Did Danny win?
Wait, this is after. We don't know if Danny won.
But right now, we can imaginary think that like if he wins and you say he won right now, then we'll look like geniuses. Yeah. But if we say he won and he didn't win, then we'll look like morons.
I think Danny is gonna win Dancing with the Stars.
You think Danny? No, he won Dancing.
Danny won Dancing with the Stars.
Fucking let's go, Dola.
Shout out. Woo!
Time. What kind of dude is Emmitt Smith?
I would say
on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dog.
Stud.
I mean, he was relentless, man. I mean, like dogs get hurt and they don't care one bit. They just keep on going. Emmitt Smith just kept going.
He's a crazy stud because you think about it. When you think of that generation, like when I think of dog, I think of someone who like he won every year. He didn't have to be a dog. Like he was the pedigree. Everyone knew he was the guy. One of the faces of the Dallas Cowboys, which was America's team. He had the pedigree. He went on Dancing with the Stars. He won Dancing with the Stars. You telling me dogs go out there and win some Dancing with the Stars?
No, dogs don't go out and win Dancing with the Stars.
Studs do.
Dogs go out there on Dancing with the Stars and lose the first round because they're just so happy to be there. And they're just roughing around and they can't figure out what to do.
But they do it at 100 miles an hour.
They do it at 100 miles per hour and they're just going out there and just being so careless and running over everything in sight.
Motivated to win, but don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So then I just talked you in. I talked you into it.
You talked me into it, Jules. He's a stud.
Stud. Stamp it.
Mm-hmm.